Can AI actually predict the World Cup? Not guess, not pick your favorites. I mean, genuinely use data to give every single team a real chance of winning the whole thing. So I tried it. I built a model, fed it every international football match since 1872. That's over 150 years of results, and let it tell me who's going to win. And I'll be honest with you, some of what it said genuinely surprised me. And one part of building it completely changed how I think about those AI predict sports videos you'll see floating around everywhere. So here's the deal. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how it works in plain English, no jargon I promise, and then I'm going to run it live in front of you so you can watch it actually predict. And then the best part, I'll show you how to run the exact same thing yourself for free in your browser, even if you've never written a single line of code in your life. So before any of the technical stuff, here's what it's actually predicted for the World Cup so you know where we're heading. Apparently, Spain cut top with a 25% chance of winning the entire thing. Argentina is right behind at 23%, and then you've got Brazil and France both sitting at around 12%, and everyone else trails behind those. Now, I know some of you are probably already arguing in the comment section there is no chance that this country is going to hit there or this going to be is there. That is good because that's the point of this video. I need to show you guys how the AI model landed on those exact numbers. So by the end, you can decide for yourself on whether you actually want to trust it. And spoiler, there's a really honest, simple reason. It might be wrong or it might be right. So let's get into it. So here's the entire thing in one screen. There are 6 steps and I'll walk through each one slowly in just a second. But let me give you the quick tour so you can see the shape of it. Step 1, we grab the data. 49,000 old games. Step 2, we turn all that into a single strength score for every single team. Step 3, we feed it into the brain, the model that actually does the thinking. Step 4, now it can predict any single match you throw at it. Step 5, you play the entire tournament thousands of times over. Step 6, we count it all up to get each team's chance of winning. And that's the whole machine. Data goes in on one end, prediction comes out the other. Honestly, once you see it laid out like this, it stops being scary. So now let's actually open it up and look at each part one at a time. So everything starts right here with the data. And this is the golden rule of any AI model. It's only as good as what you feed it. If you put rubbish in, you're going to get rubbish out. If the model has never seen football, it can't possibly predict football, simple as that. So I gave it a massive list of results. 49,000 international matches going all the way back to the very first one ever played in 1872. Scotland against England, which fun fact ended in 0-0. It's free, it's online, and it updates almost every single day, which means as the World Cup actually plays out in real time, the model can keep learning from the new results. Now here's the bit I really want you to get because it matters later. Look at what's actually in the list. For each game, the model knows just 4 things. Who played, who won, the score, and where it was played. And that's it. No possession stats, no shots on target, no expected goals, none of the fancy modern numbers. And you'd think that's a weakness, right? Surely more data is better, but it's actually a strength. The model only ever learns from hard, real, undeniable facts. Nothing made up, nothing fuzzy, nothing that someone had to interpret, just these 2 teams played, and this is exactly what happened. And keep that in the back of your mind because in just a minute, I'll explain why my honest 60% beats someone else's flashy 73. Okay, so now we have the 49,000 results, and we squeeze all of that down into one single number for each team, and we call that a strength score. The cleanest way to picture this is chess rankings. Everyone starts out on the same score or level, and then after every single match, the winner takes points off the loser, like swapping chips across a poker table. Win and you take their chips, lose and you hand yours over. But here's the clever part, and this is what makes it actually smart. Beating a strong team earns you loads of points, beating a weak team barely moves the needle at all, and thrashing someone 4-0 shifts you a lot more than scraping a 1-0. So the number naturally rewards teams who beat good opposition and beat them convincingly. It's not just about winning, it's about who you beat and how badly. On top of that, we also peek at recent form, how a team's done in its last handful of games, so a team on a hot streak gets a little nudge upwards, and a team that's completely fallen apart drifts back down. And now, every single country has one honest number that says how good you actually are, not 10 years ago, today. Now, this is where we get into the brain. This is the part that sounds scary and genuinely isn't. It's got a slightly intimidating name, it's called XGBoost. But forget the name completely, let me paint you the actual picture. Imagine one little flowchart. It looks at 2 teams and tries to guess the result. Home, win, draw, or away win on its own. Honestly, that's pretty rubbish. It gets loads of them wrong, like embarrassingly wrong. So we build a second flowchart, but this one has exactly one job. Look at where the first one messed up and fix those specific mistakes. And then we build a third one, and its only job is to fix what the second one missed, and then you repeat that hundreds of times, and each brand new flowchart is just like cleaning up the errors of the one right before it. So you start with weak, hundreds of weak little dumb guesses, but each one on its own is useless because every single one patches up the last one's mistakes. Then when you stack them all together, you get something genuinely sharp, genuinely accurate, and that right there is XGBoost. It's not one lone genius, it's a huge team of idiots working together who become an expert. And here's the thing, this is the exact same tool that the pros use in finance and competitions everywhere. This is not a toy. And so now we get into results. So this is one of the questions that most people are going to ask. Is it any good? And the answer is that it's correct about 60% of the time. Now, some of you may be saying 60%, that is barely better than a coin flip. And this is where you have to just hold on for a second. You see, football doesn't just have two outcomes. It has three. You can either win, draw, or lose. And draws are what make this genuinely brutally hard to predict. So here's the fair test. If you were completely lazy and said the home team always wins every single time, you'd be right about 47% of the time. My model gets to 60%, and that is a huge gap. That 13% points is the model actually learning something real about football, and that's not luck. That's a real signal we can look at. Now, of course, let's get enough talk because some of you are going to want to actually run this thing, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that without installing any crazy code. So let me show you guys how you can get started. So this is the World Cup predictor. As you guys can see, it has many different sections. So here you can see step 1, it loads the data. Step 2, the ELO ratings. Then of course, it includes the recent form. It includes everything into features that the model can then read, then where you're training and testing the model, and there's where you can predict any single match. And this is something that we will be changing later. Now, I know for some of you, all of this code may be looking a little bit confusing, but that is completely fine. You can, of course, use AI tools to adjust the code and edit the code. And this was built over a few sessions with Claude Code. So all you want to do is essentially just download this file. You can essentially either just go into my Skool community and just download this file. It's a Python file. This is where the code lives. Of course, it lives inside my Skool community where I house all of my AI finance tools. So then essentially, once you've downloaded this code, I'm just going to hit Control A and Control C. Then what you do is essentially come to Google Colab, and then you just hit a new notebook. And then essentially all you do is you just hit Control V and you just paste that in. And now what you can do is you literally just hit the play button. And so now what we do is we just wait, and in around 2 to 3 minutes, we will get a prediction, and I will show you guys exactly where it comes from. And so here you can see it outputs a result for the recent games for England versus Spain. Well, it's not a recent game, but it's what I had initially. And you can see England win 19%. There's a draw at 30% and Spain win at 51%. And so it says the World Cup probabilities, what I showed you guys before, over 10,000 simulations. And so this is the thing that you can do if you want to actually change the teams that are playing. You just need to scroll up to where it says predict any single match. And so here you can see we're just going to click the edit button here. So you can see for the show game where we had England and Spain, all we're going to do is change this to a different team. So let's say we wanted to do England and France. We can just hit the backspace and we can do France. When you're entering the name here, make sure that you do have it as the full name or else it won't work. So you can't just put USA, you must put the United States. And if you're wondering which names to use, the list of the names is all under here. So you can literally just copy and paste all of these names. And then now, considering we have a new team that we want to predict, let's hit the prediction engine. And so now you can see it says England win 22%, there's a draw of 33%, and France win 45%. So this is super useful because this is something that you can use to predict games. Many games are coming up. Most people don't realize that you can actually use simple tools like this and models to predict the outcomes of World Cup games. And of course, maybe, who knows? So now let's actually talk about something that you probably all came here for. How do we use this to actually make money? And so let me explain to you the concept that most people don't understand that you might miss. When a betting site offers odds on Spain to win, those odds are usually really just a hidden percentage. If they're offering odds that work out to a 50% chance, the market is basically saying we think Spain wins 50% of the time or half of the time. Now, what does my model say? If my model also says 50%, then there's nothing really to look at here. We agree, there's no edge, it's boring, and we can move on. But if my model says that Spain should be 60% and the market is only pricing them at 50%, that gap is the entire game. The market is, in the model's opinion, underrating Spain and betting on something that's priced cheaper than its true chance, over and over. And that's the only way that anyone is going to make money long term. It's called value betting. You're not betting on who wins, you're betting on a mispriced number. So let's actually do this for real. So currently you can see that the World Cup winner is actually Spain at 17%, just like my model predicted. It does have France at 16 and Portugal at 11 and England at 10. So there is a little bit of variance between the current countries. But what I want to do is I want to look at something that is right now, which is of course games that are coming up. I'm going to show you guys how you can use the model to predict upcoming games. So we can see that there are many different games come up here, and this is where we can actually look at the odds. And remember guys, it isn't just a win or a loss. There's always a third option, which is draw. So if you want to use the model, we can actually see if the model is as confident between the two teams or if there's a slight difference. So you can see here, the game I'm going to look at is Qatar versus Switzerland. And currently they have it as Switzerland 82% to win, 14% to draw, and a 5.9% for Qatar to win. So let's actually plug that into my model. So here you can see it says pick your own game here. You change the two names below to any two teams and press play. So what I'm going to do is paste in Switzerland. Then I'm going to type in Qatar. So Qatar. And then what I'll do, I'll come down here. And then in fact, I don't need to come down there. I just need to hit the enter button, and then I'll just wait for the prediction to come out. So here you can see these probabilities are actually pretty similar. It says Qatar for a win is 6% versus Polymarket's 5%. For a draw, it says 17% versus here you can see it says 13%. And then for Switzerland to win, it says 77% versus the 82% here. So it's nothing really crazy. And we can see that these odds have changed a little bit over time, but it's nothing that is big enough of a discrepancy that's going to change the results here, because overwhelmingly we can see that it's either going to be Switzerland win or there's a slim chance of a draw or loss. And that's super useful because we can see that this is the same thing that our model predicts right here. Now let's give it one more game that's a bit more interesting. Here we have Brazil versus Morocco. So I'm going to plug these values in. Let me just copy this. So I'm going to type in Morocco, then I'm going to type in Brazil, and then I'll hit run. Here you can see it has Morocco winning 21% of the time, a draw 28% of the time, and then Brazil winning 52% of the time. And so once again, there doesn't seem to be that much crazy of a difference. What it does do though, my model maybe estimates that Morocco might win by 3% more. You can see that the drawing percentage is 26% and my one is at 28%. And then of course for Brazil to win, 52% from my model, it's actually got Brazil at 60% to win. So we can clearly see that the model is pretty good when it is coming to predicting games. But if there was a clear discrepancy between what the model thinks and what the average market thinks, then of course maybe we could place a bet there because maybe we have found something. Now of course it isn't simple as just doing that, but that is the kind of way that you'd want to think about this because it's simply purely based on data. Now, here's the reason why this isn't free money, but it's still pretty good. Well, first, we have to realize that when you look at markets like Polymarket, these odds are set by millions of people who do this professionally, plus all the latest news. If a star striker just got injured this morning, the market is already going to know. And my model doesn't have that data just yet. Remember, it's only going to see the past results. So sometimes the market isn't wrong and I'm not finding an edge. The market may know something my model hasn't seen yet. So if you're going to use the model, of course, you'd want to maybe do a little bit of a deep research with other AI models. That way you have more context surrounding the bet on other factors that are really tiny that may just tip the game in a different favor. Secondly, you have to remember that the house always takes a cut. The bookie's margin or the fees on a platform quietly eat into every single bet. So if you have a tiny 1% edge, that's not really going to be an edge once the fees bite. You want to make sure you can find something that's big enough and then make a profit. And third, and this is the one that gets everyone, sometimes you just get unlucky. Even a genuinely good bet can lose. You can be right about the percentages and still lose. That's not the model failing, that's just how probability works in the short run. And if you can't stomach that, then maybe it's not for you. And so if you really want to find an edge while doing this, it's best to paper trade first. You can bet fake money first, and then over time, you can see if that bankroll is growing. And then of course, if the bankroll is growing, you can potentially transition to real money. And of course, if that fake bankroll shrinks, then maybe we can think about changing the model, making it better, and avoiding losing any real cash. So remember, the full code, including other things like this, are completely in my community. Link is going to be in the description. If this made a lot more sense, don't forget to leave a like and comment down below because there's going to be some more stuff in the video.